Now, what units are good for each season? So in this, it's going to vary very much depending on the mythics available to us. So you gotta keep in mind who we have right now for AR. As of now, today's date, which is 11/8/2019, we have Air, and we also have Naga. What they perform for you is completely different. Nagas perform as giving you dragon effectiveness, Airs give you healing, and also the variability of a flying range unit. So, as a result, you have more flexibility in terms of what you can actually do. You can sweep and clean out enemies better, while Nagas have a much harder time doing that because they don't have the extra 2 range that she does. So as a whole, your units have to do a lot more work with Nagas than they have to do with Airs. So that's the initial basis you have to look at when looking at your teams. Now, when looking after that, then you also have to consider who you are going to primarily be seeing during Astra and also during Light. So we have 2 different mythics for each type. And let me show them off. You have Sothis and Yuna. And then for Astra, you'll primarily be seeing Lord Duma and Thraseer. So as a whole, I would argue Sothis and Yuna are pretty easily dispatched on Light, while Astra has much harder to take down units. So Duma is probably easier to take out of the 2 because you have Naga to give dragon effectiveness. What Thraseer is a much more offensive variant, and she can fit into an IP team very easily. So once you know who you're going to be primarily fighting for a large chunk of the week, then you start figuring out what units are good. As a byproduct of Thraseer, dragons are terrible during Astra. Horrible. Absolutely horrifically bad. And I have an example of this, which I've been waiting to show off for a while. I briefly showed this off before. So you have this super tank Myrrh over here. Lots of stats. Good support. And there happens to be a Thraseer on the enemy team. That's interesting. That you, but you know, she's red. She's a red dragon armor. She has a ton of res. There's no way she dies, right? Debuffed. And you rely completely that you're gonna stay on the defense tile. I have done 0 damage to this so far. Still at full. I didn't even really need the bolt tower to kill this. That was 68 worth of damage to that. Weapon triangle, buffs, highly merged, 5 flowers, fortress, and it still explodes to Thurseer. Dragons are terrible during Astra because of Thurseer. So this is a good example of why you need to shift depending on what you're fighting. And because investing into a dragon when you're going to be seeing Thurseer maybe 25 to 50% of your matches, depending on how high you rank and who you face, I just cannot say investing into dragons during Astra is good. But this is a perfect good for a talking point of why you need to think on a macrocosm of when a unit is good. Blues became much worse the minute Thurseer became a thing. Dragons became much worse because Thurseer became a thing. So yeah, I won't go into which units are super good right now. That'll have to be saved for a completely different discussion point. But you just have to take into account what units you're going to be bringing to the map, which is 2 mythics or 1 mythic depending on how seriously you're taking it. And then who the defense mythics are, which as a result will be on a bunch of teams.